For decades, the American dream worked on a very simple, incredibly reliable timeline. You went to work, you bought a house, you paid it off over 30 years, and when you eventually passed away, you left that house and your savings to your children. It was the ultimate safety net. It was how the middle class built generational wealth. Today, millions of younger Americans are secretly banking on this exact timeline. They look at the insane cost of living. They look at interest rates. They realize they might never be able to afford a home of their own. And they quietly think to themselves, it's okay. Eventually, I'll inherit my parents' house, and I will finally get ahead. But Wall Street knows you are thinking this, and they have spent the last decade building a brutal, highly efficient system to make sure it never happens.
Today,
I'm going to show you exactly how private equity firms are rigging the elder care system to hijack the greatest wealth transfer in human history. I am going to expose the hidden government laws that allow them to seize your family home. And most importantly, I will show you exactly how to lock the doors and make sure your family isn't the one left holding the bag. To understand what is happening right now, you have to look at the macroeconomic numbers. Economists have a name for what is coming over the next 20 years. They call it the Great Wealth Transfer. The baby boomer generation currently holds roughly $84 trillion in wealth. The vast majority of that wealth isn't sitting in liquid cash. It is tied up in the real estate they bought decades ago for cheap, and the retirement accounts they spent a lifetime building. The natural order of the economy dictates that this money should flow down to the next generation. But Wall Street looked at that $84 trillion and decided they wanted it for themselves. And they realized something terrifying. Before older Americans can pass their wealth down to their children, they have to navigate the final, most vulnerable, and most expensive phase of their lives: elder care. In the 1980s, corporate raiders made billions by buying up struggling companies, stripping their assets, and selling them for parts. Today, the new corporate raiders are private equity firms, and they are buying up nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and hospice networks. When a family is thrown into a medical crisis, when a parent has a stroke or develops dementia, they do not have the time or the emotional bandwidth to shop around for the best deal. You have to find a facility immediately. Private equity firms know that this is the ultimate captive audience. You cannot say no. When Wall Street buys a nursing home, the business model is ruthless. The first thing they do is cut the nursing staff and replace registered nurses with cheaper, less qualified aides to widen their profit margins. The second thing they do is skyrocket the prices. Today, the average cost of a private room in a nursing home is over $10,000 a month. In some metropolitan areas, it can easily exceed $15,000 a month. That is $120,000 a year, just to survive. But the real danger isn't just the monthly bill. The real danger is a systemic financial trap designed to drain a lifetime of savings in a matter of months, forcing the middle class to liquidate everything they own. It is called the spend-down trap. Here is how the trap works. Most Americans operate under a massive misconception. They assume that Medicare, the government health insurance program for seniors, will pay for their nursing home, but it doesn't. Medicare is designed to fix you, not keep you. It will pay for short-term rehabilitation, like a hospital stay or recovering from a broken hip, usually for a maximum of about 100 days. After that 100 days is up, Medicare stops paying completely. For long-term custodial care, you are entirely on your own. Let's look at a hypothetical family. Let's say your parents worked hard for 40 years. They managed to save $300,000 in a retirement account, and they own a house worth $400,000 completely outright. They are a classic American success story. Then, a medical emergency happens, and your father requires full-time memory care. At $10,000 a month, that $300,000 nest egg doesn't last 30 years. It vanishes in less than 3. When the liquid cash runs out, panic sets in. This is when the government steps in with a different program called Medicaid. Unlike Medicare, Medicaid will pay for long-term nursing home care. But here is the brutal, hidden catch that destroys generational wealth. Medicaid is a welfare program. You only qualify for it if you are officially broke. To get the government to pay the nursing home bill, you are legally required to spend down almost all of your assets. You have to drain the checking accounts. You have to liquidate the stocks. You have to sell the second car. You have to keep paying the Wall Street-owned nursing home out of your own pocket until your parents have roughly $2,000 left to their name. Only then will the state step in and take over the monthly payments. At this point, the cash is gone, the savings are gone, but your parents still own their house. In most states, the primary residence is considered an exempt asset while your parents are still alive, meaning the government won't force them to sell it while one of them is still living there. Because of this, millions of children breathe a sigh of relief. They think, okay, the cash is gone, but the house is safe. When they pass away, I will at least inherit the real estate. You are wrong. And this is where the ultimate betrayal happens. In 1993, the government quietly passed a law that mandates every single state to operate something called the Medicaid Estate Recovery Program, or MERP. When the state pays for your parents' nursing home care through Medicaid, they are not giving your family a grant. They are giving you a loan you never actually signed up for, and the government always collects its debts. When your last surviving parent passes away, the state's estate recovery program is legally triggered. They calculate exactly how much money they spent on that $10,000 a month facility over the years. Then, they put a legal lien on the family home. They will force the estate to sell the house. The proceeds of the sale go directly to the state to pay back the corporate healthcare debt. The house is liquidated. Wall Street got their massive profit margins. The government recouped their expenses. And the middle-class children, who are already drowning in inflation, student loans, and credit card debt, inherit absolutely nothing. The great wealth transfer is completely hijacked, stopped dead in its tracks. The housing market has already priced an entire generation out of buying a home today, and now the elder care system is rigged to steal the house you were supposed to get tomorrow. But you do not have to be a casualty of this system. The ultra-wealthy have known how to bypass this trap for decades, and you can use the exact same legal tools to protect your family's assets. Your job isn't to change the entire healthcare system. Your job is to build a fortress around your family's money before the corporate raiders come for it. Here is exactly how you protect your inheritance. Number 1. You must understand the 5-year lookback rule. When people find out about the Medicaid trap, their first instinct is usually to panic. They think, I'll just have my parents sign the deed to the house over to me tomorrow so the government can't take it. If you do this, you will trigger a financial disaster. Medicaid has a strict 5-year lookback period. When you apply for assistance, the government audits every single financial transaction your parents made over the last 60 months. If they see that a house or a large sum of cash was gifted or transferred for less than fair market value, they will hit your family with massive penalty periods and refuse to pay for the nursing home. You cannot make panicked, last-minute transfers. The system is designed to catch that. You have to start planning while your parents are still healthy. Number 2. Look into an irrevocable Medicaid Asset Protection Trust. This is the single most powerful legal tool the wealthy use to shield their assets from nursing homes. If your parents place the family home and their investments into a properly drafted irrevocable trust, they give up direct ownership of those assets. Here is the magic of the trust. Once the assets are in there, a ticking clock begins. The moment 5 years pass, those assets have successfully cleared the lookback rule. The house is legally no longer theirs. It belongs to the trust. Therefore, when the medical crisis hits and the nursing home and the government come looking to drain their wealth, the house is completely untouchable. They cannot force a sale. They cannot place a lien on it. The wealth is safely preserved for the next generation. Number 3. You need to have the hardest conversation today. The biggest mistake families make is avoiding the topic of aging because it is uncomfortable. You cannot wait until your mother has a fall or your father has a stroke. By the time the ambulance arrives, your legal options are already cut in half. You need to sit down with your parents and a specialized elder law attorney right now. Do not use a general practice lawyer. You need an attorney who specifically understands Medicaid planning in your state. Put a power of attorney in place, establish the trusts, and lock the doors before the crisis hits. History shows us that whenever massive amounts of money are changing hands, the financial industry will build a machine to siphon it off. The $84 trillion wealth transfer is the biggest target Wall Street has ever seen. The trap is brutal, it is legal, and it is operating in every single state. But knowing it exists is the first step to beating it. If this breakdown helped you see through the noise, hit the subscribe button, take control of your wealth, and I'll see you in the next one.